Inspired by, my son sent me to a hotel for his in-laws. 1 hour later, they begged for a divorce. It was the kind of morning that held possibility, soft golden sunlight drifting through the curtains, birds chirping outside as the world slowly stirred awake. But for Anita Sharma, it was another day filled with that uniquely heavy mix of hope and heartbreak. Anita was a woman who had known more responsibility before her time than most. Born and raised in a small coastal town, she'd grown up caring for siblings after her mother's death, then working alongside her father to make ends meet. Hardship taught her patience, and years of compromise taught her love without expectation. Her son, Rohan, was the apple of her eye. Ever since he was a boy, she'd nurtured him with stories of resilience, dignity, and compassion. She'd taught him how to repair a broken vase, console a disappointed friend, and find laughter even in a rainy day. When he announced his engagement to Meera, a girl from a respected city family, Anita believed her son had found someone who would share life's joys and burdens with him. Then came the wedding. Tulip, a wedding that promised so much. Their wedding was picture perfect. White marigolds framed the venue, sweet scents of jasmine floated in the air, and Rohan's eyes sparkled every time he looked at Meera. For Anita, pride bloomed in her heart like the bright crimson roses in their garden. Meera's parents, Rajiv and Sunita, were poised and elegant, respected doctors who carried themselves with quiet authority. At first, their interactions with Anita were polite, cordial, and warm. They thanked her for raising such a fine young man. They praised her hospitality and the beauty of the seaside reception. Anita felt welcomed, but within a few months of the wedding, the welcome began to fade. Cyclone cracks in the facade. What started as gentle criticism grew into something colder. Your cooking isn't refined enough for our tastes. Why don't you wear something more sophisticated? Are you sure you don't want to spend time doing something productive instead of just being at home? These comments came from across Rohan's father-in-law's refined dining table, always delivered with polite smiles but with sharp undertones that felt like grazing thorns. Anita tried to respond with grace and humor, smoothing over every remark like someone tamping down a fire with gentle folds of cloth. Rohan saw some of it, though not all. He tried to protect his mother while balancing peace in his marriage, a balancing act that often left him torn between love and responsibility. Meera's parents especially made subtle jabs about Anita's background, her simpler upbringing, her seaside town roots, her lack of formal training. Anita, seasoned by years of emotional hardship, stood firm but quiet like weathered stone against the tide. And yet, she continued to love them, not blindly, but the way someone loves what is family by choice. Outgoing mail. The hotel request. Then came the message that changed everything. Rohan called one afternoon, sound strained like a stretched violin string. Mom, could you stay at the Seaview Hotel for a few days? It's just for a bit, they said. It will help them spend time with their parents. They want alone time during this visit. He sounded uncertain, but Anita, with her heart wide open and her experience full of silent compromise, agreed. She packed a small suitcase, kissed her son's forehead, and walked out of the beach house she'd lived in for years, the house where Rohan grew up, where laughter once danced freely in the hallways. That day, the winds felt strange, not cold, not warm, just uneasy, like the breath of an unspoken secret waiting to unfold. Mirror at the Seaview Hotel. The hotel was a tall, glass-faced building overlooking the ocean. Waves crashed against rocks below, like a constant heartbeat signaling the world's relentless motion. Anita checked in with a polite smile. The receptionist handed her the key card, unaware that this room, this small temporary refuge, would soon be the pivot around which family futures turned. She sat on the edge of the bed, adjusted the view toward the horizon, and tried to steady her thoughts. She thought of Rohan's laughter as a child. She thought of evenings by the sea, him running barefoot in the sand, calling her name. The view was beautiful, but the silence felt hollow. Heartbreak. An unexpected phone call. Just 1 hour after she arrived, her phone rang. The caller ID read, Rohan. But the voice on the other end was not his. It was Rajiv, stern, hesitant, and unaccustomed to vulnerability. Anita, Rajiv began, voice low but urgent, I need to speak with you. We've been selfish, and we want a divorce. Anita's breath caught. Pardon, she managed, confusion swirling with disbelief. Rajiv exhaled, like a man who had wrestled with painful thoughts. We realize we were wrong. Our behavior toward you, the way we treated you, it was unfair. And it revealed how much distress it's causing Rohan and Mira. We want to end their marriage, but not in anger, in honesty. Anita sat stunned. Her heart thumped. Shock, sorrow, relief, and a strange sense of vindication all wove together. Leaf in wind, a storm of emotions for years, Anita had balanced on an emotional tightrope between love and judgment. She had swallowed criticisms like bitter medicine, offered warmth where none was returned, and yet kept her heart intact. Now, here came a confession from the very people who had caused the tension. She could barely believe the words. A divorce, after only a few months of marriage. But then she heard the tremor in Rajiv's voice, a man admitting fault, admitting bias, even admitting guilt. This wasn't a boastful victory, but an uncomfortable truth. She felt momentarily paralyzed by the gravity of it all. Down the path to the beach house after the call, she walked onto the hotel balcony. The sea stretched infinitely, waves colliding with fierce determination, yet retreating back into calmness. She breathed in the salty air, letting her heart settle like the tide after a storm. She thought of Rohan, a good boy raised with unconditional love. She thought of Mira, a young woman shaped by her upbringing, perhaps trapped by her parents' expectations and judgments. And she thought of Rajiv and Sunita, proud people forced to confront the shadow side of their pride. Divorce was a difficult outcome. It would unravel the future they had tried to build. But sometimes, truth is the only release that can free a tangled heart. Anita picked up the phone again. She dialed Rohan's number. When he answered, his voice trembled. "Mom, are you okay?" She smiled gently, the kind of smile that knows sorrow and compassion can coexist. "I'm here, and I think it's time we talk." Crescent moon that night. In reflection later that evening, she sat in the hotel room, watching lights dance on the ocean's surface. It reminded her of fireflies she used to chase as a child, fleeting, luminous, and unpredictable. She realized that life was like the sea, beautiful, tempestuous, uncertain, yet always moving forward. She wrote messages to family members, called close friends for emotional support, and whispered a prayer for wisdom and peace. She had lived a life of sacrifice, but she also knew now that love must not be self-abandonment. Glowing star. A new morning the next day, the beach house door opened to Anita's return. Rohan stood there, eyes red but hopeful. Mira stood beside him, a quiet mix of regret and relief in her gaze. Their reunion was not dramatic. No shouting, no tears, just truth, and a willingness to rebuild, not on pretense, but on honest connection. Rohan hugged his mother first and then Mira. "We'll get through this," he whispered. Anita looked at them both and nodded. "You will, because truth matters, and because love, real love, listens." Please like and subscribe my channel.